Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Phil.
And this is Candace.
And today we've got another ReZero Season 2 review. It's episode 3 of the season, episode 28 for total, and it's called The Long-Awaited Reunion. And this is the episode where we finally get introduced to Echidna, and we get to see her personality, and then we get a whole bunch more questions for sure. And then we get more information about what's going on with all the Roswaal and those people.
I was excited to see Roswaal again. Roswaal back and, what's going on with him. But, so there was more conversation between Subaru and Echidna.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you said, we got more information, we got more questions. But I feel like some answers have been... Yeah. Some questions have been answered.
Yeah, they give us a little taste of those answers.
And so, like, part of it is, like, remember in the previous episode we were asking, so... Are there other types of witches out there? Mm-hmm. The other sins? And yes, we were kind of right. We were right, mm-hmm. With our speculation. And I think it was pretty obvious too anyway, because she introduced herself as the witch of greed. Yeah. And so we just assumed, and then Satella is the witch of envy.
Yeah, because it makes sense there'd be more witches, but no one ever talks about the other ones.
Yeah, it's always Satella. Yeah, so somebody finally said something about the other witches, mm-hmm. And we got a pretty good description of what kind of witches each one of them are. Yeah. Even we got quite a bit of information about Satella too, which mm-hmm. is probably the most important witch that. Among all of them, because she's been the main antagonist with this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's talk about each one of them.
Okay.
And so with Gluttony, Daphne.
Yeah, well, we had to go back and make sure we had this right, because the first time she went through it real quick. Yeah. And then it was when Subaru was talking to her, and then they're like, we just need two people to have a conversation. And then he was in that like dark realm thing that she was mm-hmm. projecting to him.
Yeah.
But this is what she went through. So Gluttony, the witch of Gluttony, is called Daphne. And then this is the description she gave. She created the beast that defied God to save the world from starvation. So what I noticed too is that when she described these, the way she described them didn't seem evil in a way. It almost seemed like they were justified in what they were trying to do, or they had a good reason. But not all of them were like that, but most of them seemed like they weren't bad. I don't know if you noticed that when we were watching that. And we'll go through them, and then we can talk through each one. But for Gluttony, that was like to save the world from, like, she created a beast to save the world. So I don't know if they're talking about
starvation.
I don't know if it's like the Ma beast that she's talking about, or just. And I don't know. I wasn't sure, or if it's the different species of, like, humans and like the wolf people and then elves, but I'm not sure about that. But that was Daphne, and then so next we have the witch of lust is Carmilla, and the way she is described is she granted emotions to non-humans in attempt to fill the world with love. So
non-humans, so basically anybody but Subaru. Subaru's kind and Subaru's world. So like,
wait, I thought that meant like elves and then the beast people.
Yeah, so because Subaru, you know how Subaru's human. So I mean, basically.
Yeah, but there's humans in that world too.
Yeah, that's true. But Subaru's human. Is what I'm saying. Basically human. So anybody but human.
Did not have emotions before. That's how I understood it. That's how I understood it.
That's what I'm assuming. So I don't know, like, what kind of emotions, because it didn't really specify. But I guess the intention is for love, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then again, maybe that bred to other emotions as well, like other than love, like negative emotions, and that might have caused, negative effects instead of what was intended, which was love.
That makes sense.
So I don't know.
That would make sense. Why she ended up being considered evil. So next we have Wrath, and her name is Minerva. And I had to write this down because I wanted to see what you thought. But this is like word for word what the translation said. It said, struck people to heal them as she lamented the state of her war-torn world. How do you take that? You can read it again because I had a I had to like check on that because I wasn't even sure. Because when it says struck people, does that mean she had to attack people to heal them? Is that the way she healed them? Or if it's like a wordplay that they're saying?
I feel like I should have listened more to the actual Japanese words, because sometimes they struck people to heal them as she lamented the state of her war-torn world.
So it was like as she was grieving over the war that's been going on. I don't know if it's a separate world, but in the world. But the way, like in English, the way it translates, it's like she had to hurt them to heal them or something. Like if she punched you, you would heal or something. That's the way I'm interpreting it. But what if that's her power? Like her magic is she does damage but actually heals.
I should listen to the actual Japanese word, and we could have searched what it actually meant.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the intention is to heal basically a world that's full of war. Like fighting against each other. Whatever it meant to do to achieve her goal.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess hopefully we get more information, especially after this next episode. But moving on, we got Sloth, the Witch of Sloth. Her name is Sekhmet. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But the way she was described is she drove a dragon past the great waterfall just for a chance to rest.
And so sloth, I mean, I guess it kind of says there that, sloths, people don't want to, like, they just want to sleep all day and do nothing, basically.
But the way I'm seeing that is, like, she would go to such great lengths just for the chance to rest.
Just for her to have peace is what I'm understanding from it. Mm-hmm. And so if you disturb sloth's peace, she'll do whatever it takes to get rid of you and then go back to her own peace.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So this sounds more like for herself and not really much good for, other people. Mm-hmm. So that's what we have for Sloth.
Then we got the Witch of Pride, and it was Typhon. And out of youthful innocence and cruelty, she judged criminals one after another. So this would be the one that would be associated with Subaru from season 1, how they were describing him as Pride. But so it's youthful innocence, and when it says judging criminals, does that mean she was killing criminals after she learned about the crimes? Is that how you took it? You're passing judgment on them?
I guess so. Out of youthful innocence and cruelty.
Yeah. Well, that one literally says cruelty in there, so.
Judge criminals one after another.
I guess she took it upon herself because she felt like she was the one. She felt important enough to be the one to judge these people.
Yeah,
That's what makes her prideful.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, hopefully we get more on all of this. We're just going through it real quick. So we got Greed, which is Echidna, the one we're talking to right now. And she is the embodiment of thirst for knowledge, above things. I can't even read my writing.
Oh my gosh.
And she's done things that she regrets, even in the realm of death, all in the pursuit of all types of knowledge.
So basically, she would do anything to get at everything that she needed.
Yeah, and I think specifically knowledge too, because she was even.
They specify that a lot. When you think of greed, you would think the first thing I would think of is more like material stuff.
Mm-hmm. But they kind of went in a different direction then with her.
But this one, it's like knowledge. So basically, I guess what she wants to do is, the more knowledge you have is the more you have leverage on other people. Mm-hmm. And so the more you know, the more powerful you are. Yeah. And you I guess you know how to go about your ways on everything into, getting whatever you need and whatever you want.
And I think that's what makes her feel fulfilled also, because even when Subaru was trying to leave, she's like, you don't want to ask me anything? Remember?
Yeah.
She's like, I have all this knowledge.
She was just baffled and just confused, other people are basically dying to get to meet me and talk to me and get to know, wanting to know what I have or my knowledge. But then idiot Subaru over here just like, all right, bye, peace out, going back to Emilia.
God, you should have asked questions. I was so upset with him.
Yeah, I have so much to say about that encounter, Subaru and Greed.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we got one more. We just got the one everybody knows. The Witch of Envy was Satella.
Yeah.
And then this is what we found out about her. She killed all the other witches and used them as sustenance while she made the whole world her enemy. So we find out she's the one that killed all the other witches, which is big news. So I don't know if that's...
So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is like the current witches, and then maybe they just went back, like they got reincarnated one way or another, or these previous witches, kind of like their predecessors, and then they just new witches were born?
I think these are the same witches, and because the reason I say that is because they were in the sanctuary and it's the witch's graveyard, and then this is like her living there in her death area still. That's the way I saw that. And it's not like she's leaving this area, so it's like she's trapped in this witch's graveyard. So I don't know if there's other witch graveyards for the other witches that they're trapped to. And it's just like wherever they happen to die is where that graveyard would be. And then that's also what's... Echidna's the one creating the barrier there at the sanctuary. That we find out later. But that's what I think. I think they're the same witches, because it seemed like she had this prior knowledge to all this.
So
first-hand knowledge, excuse me.
So Echidna died and then got...
I think that's her soul there. That's there in that spot still. Because she even says even after death, she's doing stuff that she regrets. But I think she's just stuck there.
Yeah, she might be using... I mean, she did say that Subaru is what do you call it? She used a term, but she basically said Subaru is like a useful person. That it sounds like she wants to use Subaru, maybe to get out of there, wherever she is. Because Subaru did mention, in the tea party thing, and he just drank her tea. And then he was saying that if you wanted to kill me, I would have been dead like 10 seconds ago. Yeah. But, and then she mentioned that she thinks that Subaru's pretty useful. Or she could make use of him, is basically how I interpreted how she said it. Okay. But, so there's our witches right there. Yeah. So that's the information we have for now.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think about all those. If y'all have any insight on that too. But,
like what I was telling you a while ago, that it sounds to me as if all of the other witches can almost work together just to kill Satella or to go against Satella, and it sounds like to me Satella's by herself. And so I don't know, it just sounds like they just have this hatred against Satella. Yeah. Knowing that they're witches, all of them are witches, I would kind of assume like they would either be all against each other or be working toward one big common goal. Yeah. I don't know, that's how I would think about it, but it kind of sounds like they're all against Satella.
Maybe they were all like individual before, but then Satella killing all of them created like this informal bond with them where they all made Satella the enemy.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too now.
We might get some more if we ever see the Archbishop for Envy. We'll see. Maybe there's a dynamic because we've seen Greed and Gluttony working together. The Archbishops. Yeah. So maybe you have a point there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If we see Envy, then that means Envy should be loyal to Satella. Yeah. And depending how they interact.
Remember the Archbishop of Betelgeuse? What was he?
Sloth.
He was Sloth, but he was deprived of Satella's attention. Like he was
what was he wanting Satella?
He was remember because when he invaded Subaru's body, or what's it? Not invaded, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like when he possessed Subaru's body, and then he saw Satella in Subaru's soul. He was like, "What? I've waited all this time to meet you. Like, you know, like this is the moment I've been waiting for, and everything I'm doing is for you." Blah 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 blah. And so now,
never mind.
Right?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm confused as hell.
God, this show's got so many questions. It never gives us an answer, like a forward answer. But yeah, you're right. I don't know now.
Yeah.
But speaking of Beetlegeese, that brings up the sloth witch factor that we heard about last episode. We're still not 100% sure what it is, but we know that
what the heck that is, yeah.
By Subaru killing Beetlegeese, how did it describe it?
That
it chose him.
It transferred to him.
Yeah.
The witch factor.
He's in possession of the
witch factor.
Yeah. And then that's also, Echidna said that's what let him enter the witch's graveyard without any kind of repercussions on him. Because he said, like, when people normally are near her, like, they start vomiting right away.
I missed that part.
It was like right at the beginning. She just mentioned it real quick. And then she also said that he earned the chance to talk to her.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's just weird, the word "earn." So I don't know.
Because I don't know. I guess it's that witch factor. I mean, she did mention that because he has that witch factor, he's able to talk to her.
Yeah. And
his physical body is not there. It's his. So I'm assuming his physical body was still inside that temple or that ruins building, but his, I don't know, soul got transferred to whoever
spirit. I don't know.
To whoever Echidna was, and then that's how he's able to see her and talk to her. Yeah. But another thing, it's almost like Echidna expected him. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, she wasn't, like, at all surprised. Like, oh, who do we have here? It's like, she knew that he was gonna come. Yeah. I don't know. Well, she was the one who created a barrier, so I guess she already knew, that they passed by that barrier, right? All right. But whatever, there's just so many thoughts here.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, what you said earlier. But, so... She mentions to him that he can leave anytime. Of course, he leaves right away. He doesn't want to ask any questions. Yeah. And then she says he has to pay some kind of compensation to her. He's like, I don't have any money. But she's like, for witches, you don't pay with money. You pay with something else. And she just asked for a vow from him. And the vow was that he can't tell anyone about meeting her, any of this interaction they had.
Yeah. And you know what this tells me? You know that curse that he has too, where he can't tell anybody about. From death. Yeah, or he can't tell anybody about Satella, cursing him like that. It's almost like these witches are trying to just keep it lay low. Yeah. And for some reason, they're giving their information to Subaru, but they don't want Subaru to let it out to the outside world. Yeah. But it's like Subaru just getting all these information from all these witches, but he can't tell anybody. And so what is he going to do with all those information?
Yeah, but he mentioned it because when they were all back together, when they were talking to Garfield, he said he got teleported somewhere. Yeah. So I don't know.
It seems like he doesn't remember, right?
I think he remembers. Like I just think he just didn't want to say. Oh. But what I'm saying is he was able to say that. Yeah. But it wasn't the same kind of reaction as the return to death from death.
Because when he woke up, it's like, I don't know. I thought, for me, it seemed like he does remember that he had a conversation with someone and that he got teleported somewhere. But I feel like he can't exactly remember who he talked to and where he went.
Yeah, because when you were talking...
He just woke up and, went outside, where's Amelia, whatever.
Maybe you're right, because when he was talking to Roswaal, when he mentioned Echidna, it seemed like he
was trying to remember.
He's like, where do I know Echidna from?
It's like it rung in his head, but he can't exactly remember. Huh. That's what I thought.
That's crazy. There's so little details you got to pay attention to that in this show. Yeah. But So that was the compensation he had to pay, and then she also left him with a parting gift, she said. Yeah. And it was what did she give him? She gave him something.
I can't remember. She did?
I thought she said she was going to give him something. I don't remember.
I can't remember. Wait, no, she did. But I can't remember what it was.
It feels like this is important. Oh, maybe. The right to enter the trial. The right to face the trial.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because when it was time for Emilia to go...
I knew it was important.
The light glows. But the light went out, and they explained that when you go near that ruins... And the light glows, that means it, what do you call it? What's the word? Like accepted you or acknowledged you to, that you can do the trial. And so when Subaru went close enough to the building, the building lit up. And so it's basically acknowledging him. And I guess that was the gift that Echidna gave him.
Yeah, because Ram and Garfield were surprised when he went through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... The next part is just the part with Garfield.
Yeah.
Garfield. And we found he looks like he's related to Frederica.
I mean, the teeth,
the hair, the eyes, and then everything. Just stuff I noticed about him. He was just really powerful, which I don't know if he must be like a beast mix person.
I mean, not a kid. Frederica is half beast, right?
I can't remember what they said about her.
Wait, no.
I don't think they said. Right.
Wait, no.
I don't think.
What is Ram and Ram?
They're ogres.
Yeah, they did say Frederica's half beast. Remember, because they were talking to Beatrice, and Beatrice said, "Why don't you go talk to the half beast?"
Oh, whatever. Yeah, half beast.
That was Frederica. She was referring to Frederica.
Okay, so that explains the power for Garfield, the strength. But then I saw he has a scar, like an X, in the middle of his face. And we're not sure what that came from. I don't know if it's from trying to do the trial, maybe.
I feel like, you know what, that makes sense. Maybe he did, because it...
was when Subaru asked him, like, why haven't you done it? He's like, if I would, I could.
Yeah, I feel like he did already try, and he failed, and so... Mm-hmm. Right now, all he's doing is he's just doing his best to, I guess, protect the area. Yeah. Or whatever he's doing. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he's just wanting to break the barrier. He wants to get through that. But then I noticed too, he also had that blue same emerald necklace.
That's the first thing I noticed when I saw him.
Same as Emilia.
And that was the necklace that Frederica gave her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said to protect them. And so it just...
I don't know.
It's just a lot of information that we need to really tackle. Well, the anime needs to tackle.
But this is another interesting part of the episode because we finally get Roswaal. We get to talk to him.
Yeah.
And they go into the house where he's staying, and he's just like covered in bandages. Mm-hmm. And
which is weird because we've seen Roswaal just fucking strong in a fight. Well, a little bit of it. And then
we find out, well, not right away because they start talking first, and then finally Sue was like, thank you for asking. Like, that was what we cared about.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what happened to him?
I know, it's like, you're just going to ignore it?
Who is strong enough to, make him look like beat up like that?
Yeah, and then we find out that it's just because he got rejected from the trial. Yeah. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
And the only people able to go do the trial is if you're mixed blood and if you're chosen, right? I think that was the requirements.
I guess so, yeah.
And then we learn also that everyone in the sanctuary is trapped there if they're half-blood?
If they have some kind of half-blood, they can't leave.
They can't leave, okay. So, like, all those people, that's why it's so, like, desolate there, and they're all in poverty, and there's just... It doesn't seem like a good place to be staying. And they're just waiting for someone to break the barrier that's made by the Witch of Greed. Which we also find out that... this is when Roswaal tells us that it's the grave of the witch. The sanctuary is the same spot.
Yeah. And
we find out that the Mathers family has been taking care of this place for generations. Mm-hmm. And then when... not Satella. Amelia was talking about the Witch of Greed. Roswaal like corrected her. He's like, Echidna. Like he just said it, like you can hear it in his voice, like you're gonna say it like this and you're not gonna disrespect her, which was weird because we don't know what kind of connection his family has with her.
I'll be honest, I didn't pay much attention to that, but I wish I did, and so that way I could kind of comprehend like how the tone of his voice when he said the word or the name Echidna, and how he addressed her. So I don't know if that's like a fear of her, or if that is that like
it felt like
is that like are they they used to be acquaintance, like maybe they have some kind of like good connection, and so like don't disrespect her, maybe she's not that like, bad.
No, or, I felt like you're
which one,
like she's important to me and you're gonna respect her.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's kind of like when Garfield says the half demon when he's talking about Amelia, and he's like half elf.
Yeah,
it felt like that. I can try to find it real quick for you.
Yeah,
but it was just so interesting because
I don't know if it's like just a fear of like don't disrespect her like that because she's somebody like strong or whatever.
No, it doesn't seem because like when they talk about Satella, when they say don't say her name, it doesn't seem like it's fear.
じゃあ昔から強欲の魔女とメイサス
エキドナどうぞ彼女を呼ぶときは名前を強欲の魔女だなんて呼び方いかにも邪悪な感じがしてもう体感なされたのでは
Okay, so we rewatched that one part where they were talking. Roswaal mentioned Echidna. Roswaal corrected Amelia, and instead of saying which of greed, address her with her name Echidna because it makes her sound like she's so evil. And so I guess the other part of what I was saying is that I guess they used to be acquaintances, so I guess I was right in that they had some kind of they're working together one way or another, and it seemed like it's almost like they're good friends almost, because I mean for Roswaal to correct Amelia like that, and he sounded so serious too, and it sounds like they're both working towards the same intentions, basically protecting the sanctuary, is what I'm understanding. And it's just weird that that he's working with a witch.
Well, something must have happened with his family in those past years where all this was happening.
Maybe.
But they didn't explain it, so it's just another one of those questions we have to be.
So again, it kind of makes our theory or speculation a bit stronger, to where the other witches, except for Satella and maybe Sloth, are really not that bad. Even though they're witches, I feel like the intentions somewhat are good intentions, except for Sloth, that she'll do anything for her peace, and then Envy, she's just our main antagonist.
And the Pride one was weird too, maybe just from being youthful is what they said, just inexperienced and not mature. That's what caused her to act that way, but still no definite answer to the question. And then just finishing up the episode, Amelia goes to talk to the villagers that have not been able to go home, and we get that special moment with them, which was it was like a growth moment for her. So she's...
Because we all know how Amelia's been trying to win the good side of the villagers. I mean, it's not just to win the... What do you call it? The election, but I feel like she just really wanted for the villagers to feel like they're safe with her, and that she doesn't intend to harm them in any way, and she really cares about them. And
she's just... All she asked for was their friendship.
Yeah,
and they asked for the same back.
Yeah, which is like our classic Amelia right there.
Yeah, and that was a sweet moment. I really liked that part.
Yeah, I just feel like the Roswaal part and the witch part. I just want the information part.
Well, we can't just get nothing but excitement.
That's true, but
we gotta have these little growth moments. But finishing up the episode, they go to the what they call it, the tomb or whatever, where they do the trial. Ruins. They call it the ruins. And then Amelia goes in, and then that's how they know that it's working, that she's been accepted as one of the challengers.
The building lit up.
The building lit up, and she goes in, and then almost right away, the light goes away. Mm-hmm. And Garfield's freaking out. He's like, it's supposed to be on the whole time that she's doing the trial. Mm-hmm. And then this is where we get that moment where they find out Subaru is also...
I mean, he just went in there, and I guess he was just going to take his chances, see if Emilia is okay. And then out of nowhere, nobody expected that the building would lit up. Mm-hmm. And then it did, so he just kept going straight. And then he goes in the building, and it looks like very bright, almost like...
It's kind of like...
Not galaxy looking.
Yeah, a little galaxy looking. Kind of icy.
Yeah.
More...
Like fantasy looking place.
Yeah, more like, yeah. But it's cool because he goes through the door, and then right away he sees Emilia, and then he passes out. Like, and then there's a voice that says, can I even read my handwriting? It says, first you need to face your own past.
Yeah, and so that's what I was asking you. Whose voice is that? Was that his voice?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if that's his own voice. Tell. It's a male voice. Somebody's voice.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, if y'all knew what it was, like, please let us know, or if there's like any kind of hint you can give us. We're still trying to catch up on the episodes, but yeah, it was cool, and that's how the episode ended, and we're gonna get even better episodes coming up because it's Subaru's backstory, hopefully.
I don't know.
I think so. I think it's his backstory.
Maybe.
Because like his dad comes in, and his dad doesn't have a shirt. His dad's ripped, and he just jumps on him. And his room's like an otaku room.
His dad is the opposite of Subaru.
Yeah, but he had glasses, and I don't know. Subaru doesn't wear glasses.
No, I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but hopefully next one, it's I think it's called Father and Child or Father and Son, something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a background story.
Please
from the title.
Because the whole time we've been watching the show, we don't know anything about Subaru. Like, we haven't had any kind of information on his past.
Yeah.
Well, no like details about it.
I mean, who cares about it?
I care about him. Like it's funny because he's the main character and we hardly know anything about him.
I do kind of care, like just for the information. Mm-hmm. Like I want to know, what connection.
Did you notice in his room there's a bunch of figurines?
Yeah.
Of long white hair girls.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Emilia.
Well, they look like different stuff, but you think that's. I don't know.
It looked Emilia to me, but it's just, I don't know if they're just playing around with the imagery or the meaning, whatever.
I think it's like, maybe that's his type of girl that he likes, just long hair girl.
Maybe.
Because they look like they're from different shows or games or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that we saw that.
Maybe, yeah.
But.
Alright, so we try to make it as short as possible, but this episode has a lot of information, and there's no way it's going to be a shorter episode. But that's it for this episode, and let us know what you think of today's episode. And your thoughts on the anime's episode.
Yeah. If you like the episode, leave a like and subscribe and a rating too, if you don't mind. We'd really appreciate it. And thank y'all for watching this, listening and watching this far, if you're sticking with us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of our new episodes coming out.
Yeah, thank y'all, and we'll see you next time.